All right, here we are. I'm going to demonstrate what we're talking about with making your puzzle parts today in OnShape. So there are a couple of requirements in the assignment, which was if it's one cube in any direction, it's 0.75 inches, two cubes is 1.5 inches, and then three cubes is 2.25 inches. And all we're doing is adding 0.75 each time we do that. So for instance, like the measurement for this cube from here to here would be 2.25 inches because it's 3 cubes tall. This one would be 0.75 inches because it's 1 cube, and then this would be 1.5 inches because it's 2 cubes. Okay, so I'm going to walk through my puzzle and how I'm going to make it. Obviously, you're not going to copy my puzzle, but it may give you some tips and hints of how to make your puzzle. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up some organization in OnShape. You can see that I've already got a bunch of parts in here, a bunch of projects going in here. So we want your projects to be organized in the same way. So you're going to create and then folder, and you're going to call it puzzle, and then your first name, last name, first initial. So mine is Gibbs. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make my puzzle. I'm going to open up my puzzle part. So I've got puzzle Gibbs A. There's nothing in there yet because I haven't made any parts, but then I'm going to go create document. Okay. And I'm going to call this part 1 Gibbs A. And the reason I want you to do that is because I want you to put your naming convention in there is because I will see all of your puzzle parts getting made in OnShape, and I need to be able to go through quickly and organize and identify whose is whose. So you have part 1 Gibbs A. I create it, and now we're looking at our multi-view drawing here, or we're looking at our puzzle part, and I'm looking at our multi-view drawing, okay? So I do have my puzzle cube design next to it because sometimes it's easy to look back and forth at all using kind of both the drawings and your design to see what's actually happening with the part. For instance, like the isometric drawing on part 1 doesn't do a good job of showing that there's a part sticking out there in the back, and we see that here. But it's also really easy to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can see that little part sticking out in the back there. So really what I want to get you guys to do is it's going to be easier if you guys start seeing how it's oriented in the part here, and that'll make it a little easier to do your to assemble it later on if we create the part in the same orientation that we see in the video here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with our right view. I'm going to start a sketch, and I'm going to start off with our right view, and I'm looking at this edge right here. So I'm going to make this outline right there. So I'm going to go for my right view. I'm going to actually start off with this guy right here, this guy right here. Okay, and I'm going to trim out the things that I don't need. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. My trim tool pops up. All right, you guys might hear some crazy kids going on in the background of my house because there's 1 million children at my house right now. Okay, and so we've been trimming our stuff. I've trimmed out the outline of that part, and you can see that it matches up with my isometric drawing here. So I've got this outline right here, and so now I've just got to go back and dimension it. And so this dimension across here, remember how I said if it's 3 cubes high, it's going to be 2.25. So from here to here is 2.25. Okay, and then across is 2 cubes, and so that's 1.5. And then this is 0.75 because it's 1 cube. And then this is across here, we've got 0.75, and it's already 0.75. No, it's not already 0.75. Should be. Okay. Sketch could not be solved. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Why is it giving me this? Because it doesn't look like it's it's in there. Maybe they're okay, maybe it's constrained to the bottom here. Okay, it looks like it might be, there's a constraint there. So, but it should be 0.75 going across there, okay? All right, so then we're gonna have our extrusion, we're gonna finish our sketch, and that should be a 0.75 extrusion because we're going only in one direction. So we're going in that direction right there, okay? So that's one layer thick, so we're going to call that 0.75. So it's really important that you adjust that extrusion and you don't just go with the default there. Okay, so now I have 0.75 all the way across, and I've got this flat puzzle piece. But if we look at our design, there's another puzzle piece sticking off on the end there. So I'm going to come around and I'm going to rotate it. And I'm going to go on the face where it is, and I'm going to put an extra cube right here. So I'm going to start a sketch, and then I'm going to do a rectangle. And it is already defaulting to 0.75, 0.75, and the reason that it defaulted to that here and here, and I don't have to put those measurements in, is because it constrained it to this line, which was already 0.75. And it constrained it from top to bottom, which was already 0.75. So if it doesn't automatically constrain it, so let's say I redo that, and it was down here and over here, and it didn't automatically constrain it, and I had two different numbers in there, I would just need to come back and put the constraints all the way across. And a lot of times I actually prefer putting that constraint in myself in case there needs to be an adjustment later on. Okay, and so I got 0.75, 0.75, and we're going to extrude that 0.75 as well, because it is sticking out there, 0.75 as well. Okay. All right, so we're almost done with this part. I'm just going to rotate it back to where you can see how it's coming down 3 and then going over 1. I've got down 3, over 1, and then that last one is sticking out in the back there. So the last step we're going to take is actually to color the part in. So we do want to color everything in. So we're going to go, you're going to right click on the part, and I think add appearance to face. I think it's add appearance. Yeah, let's try that. Aha. No, I don't want face appearance. I want part appearance. Edit appearance. Yeah, there we go. And I want to copy that material that I have here. So we want to edit material for the part, and I want to copy the color that I have over there to match. It's a little more yellow, isn't it? Okay. I'm a little colorblind for the record, so do my best here. Okay, so I've got an approximation of that color. I'm not happy with that. I want it more yellow. I want it more yellow. There we go. I think that's a little better. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, great. So now I've got my color for my part. Part 1 is done. I'm going to shut down the video right now, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do part 2. And I'm going to go through all the parts of our video or of our puzzle just so you can see, you know, what I'm doing all the way through it. So you're not just doing one part, you're going to do all your puzzle parts. So